a very warm welcome to the panel discussion on the topic effect of pandemic on Indian sports and especially at the grassroots level. Let me introduce you all to the guest speakers for the day. I will begin with the youngest member of our panel, Mr. Amjot Singh Gill. I request you all to click on the 3 buttons that you see on the bottom of the screen and change the view to speaker mode, so that when the speakers or panelists are speaking, then you are able to have a look at them clearly. Very good evening, sir.
Good evening, Bayal.
It's great that you were able to join us.
Yes, we are at
Good
another
evening, sir.
function, so we'll be watching you closely,
Great.
but may not be able to come on the mic.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was about to introduce our youngest speaker for today, Mr. Amjot Singh Gill. He is a professional basketball player and the first Indian to be directly drafted to an NBA G League team, Oklahoma City Blue. He is also ranked number 1 in FIBA 3-on-3 India. He has represented the country at various international levels and has also played professionally in the Japanese National Basketball Development League. Welcome, Amjot. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Our second panelist is Mr. Sandeep Sarkaria. Sir has been the fastest man in India 4 times and one of the leading athletes of the country. He has been part of the Indian team for 9 years and has also led the Indian team to 2 gold medals in SAF Games and various international events. Sir has been part of the Olympics, Sydney 2000, Athens 2004, and Beijing 2008, and Asian Games camp for the Indian team on a regular basis from 1999 till 2008. Currently, Sir is the member of the Indian Selection Committee Juniors and a part of government's prestigious program called Khelo India. Welcome, Sandeep, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And our third panelist is Mr. Caetano Pino. He is an international footballer and has represented India at the Under-19 Asian School Games in 1994 and has represented several clubs from 1991 till 2008. He is the technical director at Baroda Football Academy, and he was also the head coach of Corbett FC I-League qualifiers. He was also the head coach of the ONGC football team. Welcome, sir. Mr. Pino, are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. We are happy and we are grateful that we are invited. We are happy to share ideas and learn from everybody. Good evening,
sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our fourth and last panelist is Mr. Abhijit Bhattacharya. Till 32 years of age, sir represented India at various international championships and helped India win 8 international medals, including 5 gold. He joined ONGC in the year 1998 and helped ONGC become the national champion in 2002. He represented India continuously for 10 years, and post-retirement, he has founded Raguni Youth Sports Foundation, through which more than 5,000 youth for rural areas of Assam were introduced to volleyball. He has successfully implemented award-winning projects for ONGC. He is also a certified FIVB Level 1 volleyball coach, mentor at ICAP, member of Talent Screening Committee for Khelo India, and currently Sir is spearheading Assam Volleyball Mission 100, through which children from rural areas are encouraged to stay fit by playing volleyball. And since morning, I have been looking at the incredible work that you have been doing, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
We're really thankful to all of you for taking time out from your busy schedule to participate in the discussion. I would also like to welcome our school director, Mr. Sanjeev Batla, head junior school, Mrs. Natasha Nandi Batla, head senior school, Mr. Rajkumar Trihan, head primary school, Mrs. Pallavi Jha, the teaching community at the Oasis, the physical education teachers from Mussoorie International, Mr. Manoj Singh Pawar, Mr. Varun Rawat, Ms. Swati Devi, Mr. Divakar Mohan, Ms. Usha Sheetal, Mr. Mahipal Singh, and Ms. Sujata Malik from Gyananda School for Girls, and Mr. Sanjay Singh from Unison World School. And last but not the least, my enthusiastic students who have joined us. So without further ado, I would like to begin the discussion. And my first question is to you, Mr. Sakaria. See, we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has spread to almost all countries of the world, and social and physical distancing measures, lockdown, schooling, etc., have disrupted, schooling, teaching, everything, including sports and physical activity. So, what has been the impact of COVID-19 on sports, according to you?
First of all, thank you for inviting me. I think I'll shoot straight away. I think the most important aspect has been athletes, or if I talk about top athletes. So the major impact has been they being confined to one area, because most of the outdoor sports, what we see, for example, I mean, this is the biggest thing we have seen: Olympics getting postponed, which is the biggest thing. We've never seen that. So, but there's a positive aspect to this also, because I'm going to be very informal in this. Because Neeraj Chopra, now he got a gold in Olympics, which is a history. But if the Olympics was in 2020, he was injured. So if he wasn't injured, I mean, if it was in 2020, he wouldn't got a gold there. So it definitely had a negative aspects, because I was part of the camp in NIS, and what I saw, athletes were depressed. They were down. They were depressed. Staying in the same room for 21 days. Your meal comes there. You can't move around, especially one which is an outdoor sport. I mean, for example, Mr. Pino would agree with me. Even Abhijit would agree with me that the sportsmen need to go out. They need to weight train. They need to do a lot of things. So for me, sports. I mean, if you look at the industry also, it's a $750 billion industry. If you look at this, so everything in every hierarchy, it has been impacted. There has been an impact from I know a footballer, very close footballer, who was earning from different small leagues around 30 to 40,000 a month. He's just playing there, and suddenly he was selling vegetables. So there has been a major impact. Definitely, he's getting back in action now, but it has been a major impact in sports.
Thank you very much, sir. Amjot, I would like to ask you, since you are currently playing for the country as well, to safeguard the health of athletes and others involved, most major, like sir mentioned, even the Olympics were postponed, and lot of other international events at regional as well as national levels were either postponed or cancelled. What was the effect, due to the cancellation or postponement of these events?
First of all, I'll like to say thank you so much for inviting me with such great players and all the individuals who are there. And the secondly thing I'll say, the most impact was playing at the international level, because there was no there was no tournament going on in India or anywhere else. So we were straightly going to the international tournaments and stuff. So it was very difficult for us to participate in various international tournaments, because we didn't have that kind of, exposure. So it was really difficult for us to cope up with that level. And it was obviously difficult because working for the Punjab Police, we had to work also, because we have to take care of the public and make them understand that you have to stay inside indoors. And for the other people, I don't think they worked that, but for us it was difficult because we were working on our jobs also, so it was much more difficult.
I would like to know, how did you manage your work life with the keeping up with your fitness levels during the lockdown?
So I think like most of the companies helped me. Like Viva gave me a gym, and like Rido gave me a court. So so I was working out on my game for myself only. So I was working out in my house only on my skills. But it couldn't help me because it's a team game. Everyone should be at the same level. But being alone, doing that stuff, not with my teammates, it helped. It took the game off from the.
Right. This brings me to Mr. Bhattacharya. Sir, I know you are doing an incredible job with the rural people, the rural children of Assam. And because of this pandemic and because of the lockdown, what was the impact? what were the difficulties that you faced, and what do you think was the impact of COVID-19 on the education sector, especially on the sports education?
Okay. Here I will put it in a different perspective. Like once the lockdown started, we are not sure how to go about it, and it's completely new for us. So everything came to a standstill. But then again, the most positive part in a sportsman is probably if you see across all different cross section of like what do you call profession, it was the sportsmen who probably pass this COVID time very positively because they have a very positive kind of mindset and they overcome all these obstacles and challenges. And for me, it came as a positive thing because earlier we used to connect with the children and through direct medium, but once the COVID since struck, this online medium came up. So through this, we could able to connect like around 50 to 60 centers together through one platform because this all these Zoom, Google platforms were not earlier available with us. We never use it as a sports platform, but this way we are able to connect with each other, and definitely it gave a very positive result to us in the long run. And I believe this is a partial phase. We all have to overcome this kind of challenges. Definitely come in our life, either through this lockdown or something else. But we have personally, for me, it was very positive. The outcome was very positive. We could reach out to more number of children during this COVID lockdown. They had nothing else to do. Parents understood that what is the importance of sports. Now they started sending their children to the ground, which are opening up. And that's the reason why earlier in some rural centers, we used to have only 10, 15 players. Now we are having 70 to 80 players there. So whatever parents wants to send their children out, and they are understanding the importance of sports. So I feel it's
I
something.
think it was more positive for you. You know, you were able to reach out to a wider audience, I would say, or wider, you know, audience only, because now there are more people coming and joining you.
Yeah.
But and I think Pino sir is also into the coaching field. So what would you like to add on to this?
Ma'am, for a team sport like football, it is very difficult because football is a game, team sport, which needs a lot of interactions to be developed and into a cohesive unit. But through the way Abhijit has put it rightly, through Zoom platform and other things, we could manage to do physical activities, but it is not enough. But something is better than nothing. Yeah, a lot of isolated work, a lot of ball mastery for football, but it is not enough. And what we have observed is there are top level competitions which have started even last year, like ISL, and national team is participating at SAF games and international friendly and stuff like that. But what about the youth competition? There's no youth competition or school competition happening anywhere. So future generation of future line of young players will be difficult to meet maybe 5 years down the line, or maybe 3-4 years down the line, and the level of sport will go drastically down all over the world. So that
All
is
over the world.
yeah.
Exactly, because that brings me to another question. You all are working for reputed companies like ONGC, and Amjot is working with Punjab Police, and they have a certain criteria for having people come and join the company, offer them jobs. Now, they are the children or the young generation who has missed out on 1.5 years of sports. Do you think they will be able to meet the criteria of getting jobs? Or will the companies have to rethink on their, job offering policies and bring down their criteria levels? What do you think, sir? Pino, sir, what do you think?
Our company ONGC has already put certain policy in place. We won't be looking for last year's competition level, but rather than 2 years back, what was the competition and where they performed and how did they perform. So likewise, I hope other companies also will be forced to look into such aspect, because no competition, you cannot judge an athlete or a player. It's so
Right.
very difficult. Yeah, maybe
Absolutely.
Sandeep can throw some more light on this.
Absolutely. I think Pino is absolutely right. The talent never dries up. You give it. See, there are pros and cons to it. I'll give you a con for that. Is, for example, our company has a minimum age of 25 years. For example, if you want to take a job, and if somebody is 23 and a half, so that 1.5 years has been lost for him for that to get the job. Yes, I mean there is certain probably say a 2 to 3% athletes or sports persons who have probably not benefited because of this. But once you're talented, because when we take, for example, if you're coming for a job here, you have we will look at the graph. We don't look at last 1.5 years. We look at the graph of last 4 years or 5 years. So I won't say that they'll miss out, but yes, according to competitions, they definitely missed out. But regarding job, I don't think so. I think they're still in hunt, and we all the companies are still going to be in hunt.
Well, what would be your opinion, sir? Because I think team sports games like volleyball, football, basketball, they have suffered because during lockdown they were not able to interact with their team players. But individual sports, they were still able to build up their skills because it's individual. What do you think is your opinion on that?
Or if you're asking me, for example, if you're asking me as an individual sport, most of the world records have been broken in the last 1.5 years. If you look at the graph in the worldwide, all the top records have been broken in the last 1.5 years. So it's not that the people weren't training; they were training. Uh, if you talk about a team sport, that's not easy because that there were certain guidelines of no contact sports. The stadiums are not opening for no contact sports. But if you look at the individual sports, I think it was much easier for them. If you look at chess, if you look at carom, there are a lot of sports who can just sit at home and train. But definitely not in team sport. It's not easy. It won't be easy for, I think, Abhijit's group they were training, or Pino's group they were training. Even Amijot, it wasn't easy because at the end of the day. I think for an individual sport, he's more focused individually rather than the team. The here team has to play here; he has to perform alone. So definitely, I think individuals are definitely a notch up in this.
Thank you so much. And I'll come to you, Pino, sir. I think, like you mentioned, sports require specialized equipment. So during lockdown, how far do you think the absence of these specialized equipment, specialized facilities affected, sports at the grassroots level, especially?
At the grassroots level, I can put it this way, we could not play the sport at all because of restrictions, and most of the major part of the lockdown was, I mean, a major part of the pandemic was in the lockdown. So students could not go out, and young children were not allowed at all to go out, and so they were confined to the homes, and being at home, unless and until you're a professional athlete or a professional player, maybe you might it is your bread and butter. You might take a risk or might take permissions, to go out and train. But for school children, it's very difficult, and so their physical activities are also very drastically lowered. They could not go out and train. As far as equipment are concerned, at grassroots, you don't for football you hardly need any equipments at grassroots, unless and until you are at a professional level. Then you need a lot of equipments, heart rate monitors, and a lot of cameras and all the other things. But at the grassroots, we just need to teach them basic things, just to play, collaborate with the on sponsored games. That's all. We just need 2 goalposts and some footballs for football.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And would you agree if I say that, this COVID-19 pandemic, since the children were mostly at home and there was restriction to physical activity, it has opened a Pandora's box of, diseases. Obesity has increased, risk of heart diseases amongst the children. Would you agree with me, Sandeep, sir?
Absolutely. I think I'll take my example. I mean, first of all, I mean, I'm almost 8 kilos up post COVID, and so are my kids. I mean, all of them. I mean, they couldn't hover around much. We've been lucky that we have a little space to train a little bit, in front of the house. But if I look at most of the people who've been staying in 2 bedroom houses or 1 bedroom houses, they didn't have enough space, and definitely the kids had the worst effect. Maybe in teaching, you can say, they had a good effect. They could concentrate more, but I think the screen time has gone up, and I believe definitely the health has impacted for kids, definitely. So hopefully it's going to end soon, and hopefully they're going to go out, because kids are supposed to be free. They're supposed to go
Right,
out.
right. So all four of you are looking very fit, and I'm sure the people who are attending this panel discussion would like to know what was your fitness regime during this lockdown period. I will begin with Amjot because you are currently playing. So what was your fitness regime like?
So I had to work in Punjab Police. So I had to. So I used to go at 6 o'clock for my job and come back at 2. And then after that, at 3 or 4, I used to do my gym. And then in the night, I used to do my conditioning and stuff, which was mostly the stairs because my house had stairs. So it had 5 floors. So I used to go up and down so that I can, work on my conditioning and stuff. So this was my schedule for like 3 months or 4 months. So mostly I was doing this only for basketball purpose. I was just shooting around and like because I only had a half court and I had no one else to come. But the thing was being in the Punjab Police, they were allowing us to bring players or someone to come. Otherwise, no other one could come. So that was the perk of being in Punjab Police and nothing else.
Great. And Sandeep, sir, you mentioned about putting on weight, but I don't think so. You look absolutely fit to me. What was
Oh,
your regime like?
well, my regime was more of cooking, to be honest. But yes, if you talk about if you talk about fitness, but definitely I had a long injury, like 4 months, 4 years back. I had a Achilles tendon injury, so I could work on it, to be honest. And I think I wasn't training like Jodh, he's a professional player right now, and definitely working more harder. But I was more taking care of myself, taking care of my family. But my regime was more of doing HIIT workouts and doing a lot of weight training at home, because I have a small gym at home. So a lot of weight training at home, and I think yes, I did gain weight, but it was more of strength. So I was pretty happy with actually pandemic, because I could give time to myself. Because Abhijit would know this, that from 9:30 to 6:30 we can't move from office. So yeah, I mean, we could give more time to us.
Great. What about you, Abhijit, sir? How were you maintaining your fitness level as well as the fitness level of the rural children you are involved with?
Yeah, like as I told you, everything about the COVID was positive for me. Like earlier in office, we used to come to a home at around reach home at around 8 o'clock. But when this COVID lockdown came in, the next day we were sure that it will be going to last long for next one or so. And in the morning, I saw a plate of paratha coming in with all butter and all aloo ke paratha. So I knew that if this continued, then I am going to like it is finished, like everything is finished. So what I took is that let us utilize this time and take a challenge out of it. So there was a rooftop in my house, like only 600 square feet. So that rooftop I converted into my playing space, like. So I started running there, and believe me, I was unable to run even 10 minutes. I was like, we used to run for hours earlier. So from 10 minutes I started, and 1 month down the line, I ran a half marathon in the rooftop. It was only 600 square feet area. So it took 3.5 hours for me.
Amazing. That's amazing,
And
Abhijit.
that I did, and that's what motivated me actually. And I lose some 6-8 kilos after that, after two.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I also started training my youth, the children, in a tea garden where they have never touched a volleyball in their life. I saw my children doing yoga classes online, so that I believe that if they can do yoga classes, then I can also teach someone volleyball. So I, as a pilot thing, I bought 3 tea gardens team together. उनको कभी उनको मतलब ball ही touch नहीं किया था उन्होंने. So we made ball with cloth balls. They were locked down. There was no ball. They have never touched a ball. They never know what is volleyball. And they started learning volleyball. Then I organized online tournament with 3 tea garden teams. Who can do maximum underhand? So there was a competition built up online. And from there, now a team has been formed. They are participating in Brahmaputra Volleyball League, where home and away format, all those things are coming up. It's a long story. So I will stop here. Thank you.
No, that's a long story, but I can see that passion in you for that. So it's commendable. So hats off to you. Huge round of applause to you and your work.
Thank you.
What about your fitness regime, Pino, sir? You are also looking extremely fit.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, we as coaches now, and I am also a coach educator, we are forced to maintain our fitness. We cannot blame the pandemic. We cannot blame the food that's coming on our table without any work. So I had shifted to, three important things we need to understand for any fitness. One is good sleep, second is good nutritious food, and third is specific fitness to your particular sport. As for me, I try to maintain good sleep, and nutrition. I try to shift to intermittent fasting, and that is 16 hours fast, 8 hours eating, which I did gradually. That has helped me, I believe. And As far as fitness is concerned, I bought a new cycle. So I used to go to cycling, and alternate days I used to do Tabata. That is HIIT training, high intensity interval training, sort of. And also, whenever the lockdown was partially open, we used to get together and play futsal. All players of my age or amateur players used to get together and play futsal. So this variation was going on: Tabata, cycling, futsal, Tabata, cycling, futsal, whenever time permitted and whenever we had the opportunity to do. But something or the other physical activity, I try to maintain.
Excellent, excellent, wonderful. I'm sure the children have picked up tips from each and every one of you, and they'll be trying to implement them. I would like to know one more thing. See, if one of somebody wants to become a sports person, take it up as a career, and during this lockdown period, they were not doing that kind of sport activity, but they were involved with free play. Do you think that structured activity is important to become a sports person, or free play is also okay as long as they are keeping themselves fit? Pino sir, what do you think?
Free play is absolutely fine, madam, especially during this pandemic. Absolutely fine. But if they want to really make a career out of into sports, then structured coaching or structured training is very important. Because we need to get their brain involved, we need to get their physical requirement involved, specific to the sport, which is important. But something is better than nothing. If it is not structured, if the coaching is not happening around, some physical activity, going out and playing, running about, or even running and playing with your dog, or doing some physical activity, maybe some body weight squats, body weight push-ups, body weight lunges also are very important. Something is better than nothing. Instead of just sitting on the couch watching TV, playing PUBG, these will not never take you anywhere.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think is a future of sports in India? Sandeep sir?
Well, I feel it's absolutely bright, and it's getting brighter day by day. If you look at the medal tally this time in Olympics, if we start from the pinnacle, which is Olympics, getting one gold. I think we had a barrier in some of the outdoor sports, for example, athletics, that we cannot get a gold medal because PT Usha missed a medal by 0.01 of a second. Then again, Milkha Singh ji missed the medal by 0.01 of a second. Anju Bobby George missed a medal, by a very less margin. So I think with Neeraj's throw, definitely that barrier has been broken. That mental barrier has been broken,
Right.
that we can actually win a medal. And I feel in coming 2024 and 2028 Olympics, you won't see one at least 5 goals. At least
Wow.
5 goals, not from the shooters. I mean, definitely shooters have been on the top, but not from the shooters, but from a proper outdoor sport. It could be hockey, it could be hopefully volleyball, it could be football. You never know. I mean, I think everything is improving slowly. So definitely, I think it's getting brighter and very brighter, and I hope it does.
Great. So, Amto, what do you think is the future of basketball in India?
I think it's getting brighter and brighter because when we used to play in back of the days, there were not much opportunities. But now with the Khelo India and the NBA Academy and all the young kids are going to US and Canada for studying and stuff. So I think for the games, I think it has improved and. I think the future is very good because we can see that in the camps also the youngsters are doing really good. So, because they have been getting the opportunity from the grassroots level, so I think developing the grassroots level by Khelo India and NBA Academy has definitely improved it.
Great. Abhijit sir, what would be your message for the children who are watching you right now?
Play like I will tell you what. I've been a sportsman and not very good in academics. Just completed my BA and into sports. Then I got decategorized and I'm put into work in the corporate world, like CSR work. And around me, I was like surrounded by all from graduates from IIMs or from top engineering institute. And after working with them for last 5 years, what they are telling is like what we have learned in the MBS schools, you have learned in the ground, in the sports ground. All those leadership, team member, gratitude, like quick decision making, everything you learn on the sports ground. So sports make you a complete person. So education takes you forward. So continue your education with sports. So that will definitely help you to address all your day-to-day life, all your day-to-day challenges, which are other than academics, like surrounding you. And as you grow older, these skills will come more handy to you. Like similarly in the lockdown, how we like sportsmen overcome it more better than anybody else.
Great, great, great. What about you, Pino, sir? What would be your message to the children?
Wonderful message by Abhijit. I also totally agree with him. Many coaches, especially even in football or others, they try to tell young kids, either decide about whether you want to become a sports person or academic. So for that, I have a strong message. Only sports will never get you anywhere. Only academics might get you somewhere. But with both, you will be highly regarded, because with due respect to academics, and with due respect to all my teachers, academics don't teach you collaboration, where doesn't teach you leadership, doesn't teach you empathy, doesn't teach you, doesn't matter when you are under high stress, physically high stress, and we are losing how to control our emotion, resilience. Academics doesn't teach you all this. And that's why sometimes, especially people who are not interested to sports, they cannot bear failures, and that's why we see young students taking drastic steps about their life and stuff like that. So both sports and academics will give you to the place where we are today. Probably, the future is bright. Try to do it both. You might not succeed at the highest level, but try to fight it out and do sports as well as academics.
Excellent, excellent. Very well said, sir. All right. And now I would open the panel discussion to all the public who's watching, who are with us, the audience. If they have any questions, they may raise their hand. Anybody who has any question for anybody or any one of the panelists? Anybody who would like to ask something? Nobody? Nobody would like to ask anything? Yes, Natasha ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so we've seen COVID take quite a toll on the lives of the people here in India. So a message for our children, that with sport, how does it really help a person to fight any illness for that matter? So anybody can answer this.
Sandeep sir, what would
I'm
you
sorry,
like?
I couldn't get the question.
See, the pandemic has taken a toll on us health-wise. So with sport in our life, how does it make us stronger to fight any illness?
I think, ma'am, it's a beautiful question, because the basic criteria of sports is fitness. I mean, I'll just say a simple thing: go for a walk. I think it's the best non-injurious thing you can do ever. You won't be getting injured. Go for a walk. And I've seen that in myself. I remember getting depressed. My mom was down with COVID. My father was down with COVID. My kids were down with COVID. My wife was down with COVID. And I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I think I was getting there. And I just started walking. I didn't feel like running. I just started walking for like half an hour a day. And trust me, I was positive when I used to come back home. I used to walk. I mean, I had a small garden outside. I used to just walk and come back home. And the difference was humongous. I never thought, being a sprinter all my life, been running and doing repetitions, weight training, that walking was something which I've always thought, "Arey, walk kya karna hai yaar, ye kaun itna slow chalta hai?" You become the fastest man. Don't think about walking. But just walking half an hour a day, I'll tell you, my cardiovascular activity became better. Because when I was walking, I had goals in my walking. For example, in 30 minutes, I have to cover X amount of distance. In 40 minutes, I have to cover X amount of distance. Even if you don't want to do that, just go and walk. Just go and walk. You'll see the difference. And I believe 21 days of walk, after 21 days, they say 21-90 rule. If you do it for 21 days, you'll see the difference. If you do it for 90 days, it becomes a habit. And trust me, once it becomes a habit, you'll see a difference in you. So for me personally, I don't want you to go and, do Tabatas and HITs or a lot of stuff. Just go for a walk. You'll feel good.
Thank you so much, Sandeep sir. Well said. Laksh, you had
Thank
your
you.
hand up. Yes, Lakshya. You can turn on your camera. We would like to have a look at your face also. Thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am, I would do that, but actually my camera is not working. It's bad.
No problem. No problem. Please, your question.
So, yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Lakshya Adwalia. So, sir, to all, I have a question that, like in physical, we can improve by at home, doing weight training and all that stuff. But how will you improve your mentality at the field and the public, like the what do you call a group game like football, basketball? How would you maintain that? What do you call that environment or that aura with your teammates at home? Because at home you're not able to connect with all your teammates and practice. How will you, like, being a forward player, the striker? How will I communicate at home with the defender? Like, how will we maintain that team spirit at home?
Excellent question.
Pino is the perfect man to answer this.
Yes, sir.
Excellent question. Again, it's very difficult to maintain that in isolation because football is a team sport. But we can work. We cannot sit on the drawbacks and and sit at home and cry over it. But we can work on the other aspect like ball mastery or shooting at goal, where there is no goalkeeper. Also, just put the markers and work on it. Dribbling, acceleration, and working on your vision. Using doing ball mastery and using your peripheral vision, how to use your peripheral vision, how to scan. You can just hit a ball and receive. We can work on many stuff which will be required for the player to develop. Whereas the fighting spirit is concerned, can you go steal when you are tired, even when you're alone? Yeah, so that way you can help. But team sport and the field sport, you cannot compare it in isolation. Another way to get yourself motivated, have a light music when you're training. It releases hormones in the body, that will push you further than your ability as of now. That is another way, just to keep yourself motivated.
No, I just add on to this, Lakshay. I think you're a CR fan, you're a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. And with this, Lakshay, I'll tell you that I was reading about Cristiano Ronaldo post pandemic and his fitness, mental fitness. He says he's much mentally fitter now because he has been through a lot of critics and, criticized about his fair play, stuff like that. But if you look at mentally and physically, he's 25%. He says he's 25% more fitter than what he originally was, which is huge. I mean, he was already a fit guy. And in post-pandemic, he says, I mean, he's working out at home. He's 25% more fitter. His cardiovascular levels and his speed, which is, for example, he was sprinting at say around 10.8 seconds. He's going for 10.75 or 10.70. So that has happened, which could not have happened if he was playing football, on a regular basis and having matches. So this pandemic has actually just take it as a stride forward, mentally and physically. Mentally, as Pino sir said, that of course the music can help and there are ways to connect to your friends now, huge ways. I mean, you can connect to your friend with a phone straight away right now, and you can have a lovely party. I know a lot of people having online parties right now. So just it's pandemic. Don't let it be an excuse.
Yeah.
Make this an opportunity for you to become more stronger, more faster, and definitely set your goals more higher.
Yeah. Just want to add to that, ma'am. Lakshay, meditation can help you and take you a long way. Resilience is not about how angry you are. It is about how well you can control your brain or your mind. So meditation can help you, develop that resilience power, especially during this pandemic. How to control your emotion, how to control your thinking.
I think India being the birthplace of yoga and meditation should be an inbuilt part of each and every Indian. Yoga and meditation.
Absolutely.
What do you say, sir?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Manas, you had your hand up earlier. Do you have a question for anybody?
Ma'am, by mistake, I raised my hand.
Okay. Anybody else who would like to ask any question? All right, then that brings us to the end of the panel discussion. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank you.
sure everybody will, take tips from you that, pandemic is not an excuse for not being fit. You can take whatever is available around you and incorporate it into your fitness regime. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Mrs.
Thank you.
Sarkaria, Amjot, thank you so much.
Amjot, good to see you, Amjot. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hope
Thank
to see
you,
you soon
sir.
on the field, man. Good to see
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Abhijit
ma'am.
and
Thank
Pini,
you
of
for
course, we'll
having
see you
us.
each other very soon.
Sandeep and
Thank you,
Abhijit.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.